Hey, bro, get gonky. Get
Yo,
gonky
hit
with
the
us.
pendulum. We both just hit a blinker, bro.
You gotta hit it too. Come on. Do it.
We
Do it.
What do you want me to do? What's going on?
Do it.
we need
Smoke.
you to hit the
Oh, okay. Ready?
hit the pendulum.
Get
Yeah.
gonky, bro.
It has to be a blinker. Oh.
Sounds like a bong.
Yeah,
Yo.
that's what that sounds like. Yeah, that's
Entice.
Okay.
Okay, I'll see you in there, boys. See ya. Too easy. It's too easy. GG, man. Got him. I got him. Okay, late wipe. A lot of really powerful gear out there. Shield Fighter, I don't think is that competitive at the highest levels of play, particularly in solos. Oh, I almost got him. Fucking Panthers. Versus some of the metas out there, sword and board Shield Fighter is difficult, but it's a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun. He's going for my feet. Oh, that was very close. GG, man, that was very close. Getting a lot of blocking practice against different types of opponents. So we'll do another quick and dirty video. Take a look at some fights, take a look at some combat highlights, talk about strategy, share some recommendations for your own Shield Fighter play. Okay, quick and dirty blocking. Here we go. Okay. Trying to trade is bad, but we got him. A bit brave there. Staying in on the hands really helps. Whoops! Chain lightning. Very good. Oh! Should have been blocking. There's a couple things to talk about. One is, if you ever encounter caster clerics in the solo lobby, I feel it's generally best practice to try to sprint at them and close the gap as quick as you can. Against a caster cleric, that's going to mean that you're probably going to take at least one holy strike, but in my opinion, rushing them while they have the book out is to your advantage. So whenever I hear that book come out, even though I might take a spell, I try to close the gap and get in on them as quick as I can. But that right there was the most important part of this whole clip. I wanted to show this again because I wanted to show shield fighters, all the shield fighters who are watching this content, who maybe don't understand how they get hit, why they get hit when they have their shield up in defensive stance. Let's look at this again. I'm pushing in on this guy. He pulls his shield out. There. All I do is take maybe 1.5 steps to the side. He maybe turns to like the wrong way, but look how easy it is for me to get to his flank. The shield fighter's shield really only protects you, is only blocking from a very specific portion of the 360-degree sphere around the player. So all it takes is a couple of opponent steps or the player's shield inaccuracy to really expose the entire flank and make it very, very easy to get hit. And that's what happens here. So next time you're playing with a shield and people are running around left and right, a rogue is running around left and right, and you're wondering, why can't I block the dagger? Why can't I block these attacks when my shield is up? It's because, from the attacker's perspective, look at how open your player is. And that's something to keep in mind. It's not just your first-person perspective. You really have to try to remember your opponent sees a different picture. And in this case, that can be the entire side of your body. Yeah, GG. Didn't take much. Okay. Nice try, man. Nice try, my dude. It's a nice try. Okay, so here I am in the crypts, doing some questing. Late at night, I didn't see a lot of people in the lobby. My guard is down. I'm just going about my business. Yikes, right? Boots I hear, and then I hear the whiff of daggers. And maybe my face doesn't show it, or I guess you can't see my face, but this scared the crap out of me. I just managed to keep a lid on it. Totally surprised by this rogue. Lucky to get the dub there. A lot of people ask. I get a lot of comments on YouTube, a lot of comments in the live streams, asking how do you deal with rogues? Is there like an anti-rogue build? Is there like some sort of anti-rogue kit? And my answer has been no. There's so many different kinds of rogues. I haven't really thought of like a single kit or loadout that could combat all the different kind of flavors or versions of rogue that exist. But one thing I will say, and this clip kind of underscores that, is the heater shield. The heater shield, I find, is the best defense against rogues. Yes, it can be very difficult and frustrating to block daggers. Yes, rogues can have very high dexterity and very fast action speed. It's very hard to read their attacks and block their attacks, but if you can block the daggers, that resets the rogue. The rogue is actually very squishy. It doesn't take a lot of counterattacking to actually wear them down, to scare them off, or outright drop them. And so my recommendation for any fighter looking to combat rogue play is to run with a heater and just try your best to block first counterattack. That means for the stiletto, you want to aim up and to the right. You want to aim for that attacking hand. Not so much the blade, but the hand the dagger is in. For the stiletto, that's the left hand, that's your opponent's left hand, and the attack is coming from top right from your perspective. For the rondel, it's the other hand. The rogue's right hand, it's coming from your left, and typically further left than you may think. So if you aim for the rogue's hands, and you try to block first counterattack, the rogue is actually very squishy, and I find a lot of the times you can turn the tables. All it takes typically is 2, maybe 3 blocks, and you can win the fight. There, I think I won the fight with 2 blocks. I got hit a bunch, but was hit in the arm. Not a lot of damage received. So it's definitely possible. Just do your best to stay calm and go for the blocks first. Of course, this doesn't always work, obviously. Especially in the super geared uncapped lobbies. And we've got a follow-up clip here I'll play without any commentary that shows just how quickly the fight can be over. So sometimes you just don't have any choice. You do your best. You can't get any blocks. You lose. But I still say it's worth a shot. Good luck. Damn. Wow. Just absolutely landmined. You hit the trap. Blocked. Trading. Number 2, number 3. I blocked him. Got him. Whoa. GG, man. Good fight. Pretty tough cookie. No bolts. Show him I'm willing to attack. You gotta show him you're willing to attack. Let him fish. Let him fish. Let him fish. Let him fish. What the? Tanky boy. Fancy longsword. Okay, this was a surprisingly difficult fight against what I thought was going to be a pretty squishy longsword user. When I saw him here in the exchange, I saw the padded tunic, and I thought, okay, not too much PDR. What I didn't see was, I think, the plate pants. So I was a bit guilty of underestimating this opponent, and it ended up taking a lot more than I thought it would. But I'll bring it back because there's one particular part. Show him I'm willing to attack. You gotta show me willing to attack. And that's it there. A strategy that I've developed when playing against longsword fighters, using a mace in particular, but any weapon, but a mace in particular, is to show them that you're willing to swing. You can keep the longsword fighter kind of in stasis. You can kind of paralyze them by showing them that you're willing to swing, especially with a mace, because longsword users prefer maces because maces are very easy for them to parry, and you can kind of keep them in that parry position if you just keep swinging. And you don't have to swing into the sword. My preference is, and you see that in this fight, I kind of swing wide to the right when I'm using the Morningstar, because the Morningstar has kind of a diagonal down first attack pattern, and that matches very closely with the angle of the parrying longsword. So it's actually pretty easy to swing wide and then drag the mace into your opponent's legs or feet. But the moral is, the most important takeaway here is, if you keep swinging, even if it's wide, even if you don't hit, the longsword user almost finds that irresistible. They think, ooh, this guy's going to keep swinging, I'm just going to wait for my parry, and then I'll get my big damage payoff. But the joke is, you are intentionally swinging wide, you're swinging at empty space that is very hard for them to parry, and then at that last second, you are dragging your mouse into their body, and maybe scoring a hit on their legs or their feet. It's slower, you do less damage than if you hit them in the chest or the head, obviously, but what it does is it prevents them from attacking you. It keeps them in kind of a holding pattern, fishing for that parry. And so this is a strategy I run when I use maces against longswords because I find it tends to keep them from attacking me and allows me to chip them down until the point where it's easier just to straight up trade towards the end of the fight. Okay, let him fish. Let him fish. Take it back here. Just for one more look, I'm willing to attack. See, yeah, show me willing to attack. There, those two attacks there were good examples of me swinging wide to the right and then dragging into his body at the last second. We'll do it one more time. Wide in. Show me willing to attack. In. Yeah, show me willing to wide attack. In. Very difficult for the longsword to parry that, but because I keep attacking, the longsword fighter, especially after taking damage, thinks, uh-oh, the only way out of this fight is for me to actually get a parry and riposte, and it keeps them in that parry position. So it's a good way to lock them down. Good way for you to keep stacking on damage until eventually the fight just becomes unwinnable from his perspective, and you can straight up trade. Okay. Missed him. He's not happy about that. Huh. Nice try, man. GG. Rating. It's bad. Range. Crap. Okay, so these last two fights, there's this fight against the cleric, and then there's a previous fight against a slayer fighter who is also using a morning star, are good examples of the power of perfect block. You see here, I'm not shy to push into the buffed cleric, and even after taking damage, I'm still confident. I still am confident I can turn this fight around, because look at that stagger. There was the problem. The problem was right there, was I did not wait. Trading. Yeah, I started trading. Let me just wind it back and have a closer look. So, very confident, perfect block. You can see that because perfect block charges my heater up with maximum blocking power, that blocking power supersedes the impact power of the Morningstar, and his combo is reset. It's a very long reset time for a heavy weapon like the Morningstar. So, great opportunity for counterattack. I get it. But that's the problem right there. I am anticipating the next attack from his Morningstar, but he misses. And as a shield fighter, it's very important for me to wait until I get confirmation of the block before I counterattack. If I attack without blocking first, I am open to taking damage. And against a smite cleric like this, or any other big weapon that you're looking to stop, you cannot trade for very long before the fight is lost. And this was the first big mistake I made. So not waiting to get block confirmation, swinging and trading into his attack is very dangerous. And now I'm on the back foot. Bad. And then, of course, the last mistake there was underestimating the reach of the Morningstar. The Morningstar, I'm much more familiar with the Flange Mace, which has kind of a pitiful melee range. The Morningstar has a much longer reach by comparison, and I didn't do well enough. I was waiting for my perfect block to recharge. So I was kind of like split focused, watching my reset timer. I should have strafe turned and made a little more space while I was waiting for my skill to recharge. I didn't. I underestimated the reach and then paid the price in the end. Range. Yeah. So, key takeaway, perfect block interrupts the heaviest melee, including Morningstars. Very, very useful. I would almost say essential if you want to win a straight melee exchange with these players. But also you have to go one for one. You have to wait till you have the confirmation of the block, and don't underestimate the range of the attack. Okay. Make it dark behind me. Harder to see my silhouette. He's got to be right here. Felling axe. Here we go. Space him. Whiff. Punish. That's my bad. Stay in his face. Whoa, that happened fast. The jump was very good. Very good timing. I'm behind. The server lag, I'm behind. Darn. Okay, so in this raid, in this clip, I've been stalking a barbarian basically the whole time. I saw that this barbarian had already gotten 4 victories in the feed there, and so I was being very careful in my approach, kind of like mentally preparing for the Felling Axe fight. And now I know that he's in the room here to my left. I can hear him, and I'm getting ready to go in. He's got to be right here. So yet another Felling Axe kill. So I'm excited. I'm ready for this, I think. I'm maybe a bit overconfident. So let's have another look at how it goes. Felling Axe. Here we go. Space him. Okay. Can't really get a good look at it there, but I will say that the #1 weakness of the Felling Axe is the penalty for missing. If the Felling Axe whiffs and airballs, the reset time is the greatest on the weapon. It is very, very slow to reset. And so In contrast, if the felling axe lands a hit, the reset time is very, very short. It's actually a very high DPS weapon if it lands hits. And so it is in your interest as a shield fighter to not necessarily rely on blocking, because blocking the felling axe actually kind of counts as a hit from your opponent's perspective. If your opponent's felling axe hits your shield, they don't suffer the same extended reset time as they would if they just straight up miss. And so it's taken me a while to get used to that it's actually not something that you want to block if you can avoid it. The best approach for the felling axe is to use spacing, make them miss, make them whiff, and then punish that miss. So you see I'm kind of dancing in and out, trying to bait the attack, doing some intentional airball swings.
Whiff?
There, I get a whiff. And I anticipate it. I can tell that I'm far enough away he's going to whiff, so I'm excited. I go into punish. Here's my mistake. I go for the third attack. I got greedy. I should have stopped at 2 and done a reset myself, because what I don't want to do is give this guy any room to turn the tables back and get the initiative again. And I did that by being greedy, by going for the third attack. Now I'm going to get hit. That's my bad. And it's very difficult for me to recover my timing. So I was there again that he whiffed and didn't have the right spacing or kind of momentum to go back and attack him. So now we're kind of back on even terms. But that's not where I want to be. I would have been in a much better position if I didn't get greedy on that initial attack. Okay. Stay in his face. So here comes the next mistake. And that is failing to anticipate how much further ahead in time my opponent is due to server lag, due to server desync issues. Right? I'm a huge fan of Oggieson. Oggieson is OG longsword brother. Amazing content. Really, really inspirational stuff. And great attitude. He's a super fun guy to watch. He recently put up a video. I mean, he's been putting up videos this whole time, kind of like tracking, documenting some of the server issues that Iron Mace servers have had. And his most recent one, he shows, and he's like on 2 computers in the same room in his house, and he's playing on the same server in the same game, and he's just documenting the disconnect, like the difference in time between the attacker and the defender, like what the attacker sees versus what the defender sees. And it can be up to like a quarter of a second, like 250 milliseconds of time difference that is the advantage of the attacker. What that means is in a situation like this, with a felling axe, with a super high damage melee weapon that I'm going against, what I failed to do in the situation was anticipate that the barbarian here is actually a number of frames ahead in time. He's in the future. I'm looking back in the past. And for a weapon like a felling axe, this also applies for daggers, for high dex rogues or other opponents that have fast swinging weapons. By the time you see their attack animation, chances are on their client, they're already up in your face. Like it's already registering as a hit. So what you need to do, what we need to do as defenders, as shield fighters, is actually have a bit of like telepathy, is to anticipate the attack is coming and already have the shield up. And I didn't do that here. Whoa. And as a result, I got absolutely smoked. I got split in the face. And I mean, I can show it here in slow motion. Let's take a look in slow motion. One more time, real speed. Whoa. Very difficult. Very difficult to read.
Very good.
You could argue, yes, my block was a little bit slow. I should have had my block up, though. If I was just holding block and was already in the defensive position, if I was already in the defensive stance, I would have had an extra chance, I think, to have actually had my shield in the right position. But certainly, the mistake was, if you don't want to just be in defensive stance the whole time, which is understandable, as soon as you see the opponent jump, as soon as you detect any motion that isn't their just regular walking motion, you got to be ready to click and hold block, because the attack is already upon you. With the server desync issues, with the ping difference, any motion you see is an attack, so get ready for it. Good luck. Got him. It's a very subtle thing, but the reason I want to show this portion of this clip is because I want to remind people who have a kind of a sneaky, stealthy preference, or who like to play like a hide in the shadows style game, that there is a difference in the amount of darkness that you see from your first person perspective and that your opponent sees from their perspective, especially when holding a thing like a torch or a lantern. The light from the torch or the lantern, from my perspective, from my POV, it looks like the torch lights up a lot of the surrounding area. But that can actually be quite deceiving. And from the opponent's perspective, from the other player's perspective, the amount of light that the torch or the lantern gives off actually isn't tremendous. It isn't as great, I don't think, as would be suggested by the amount of light you see here on the ground. Look how close he gets. Basically, he's right up on me. And it's only after I move and pop my sprint that he kind of gets wise to me being there. The point of this clip is you actually have a lot more time and space to hide in the dark, even if your opponent has a torch, if you are stationary. If you stay still in the dark, chances are they're not going to notice you until you move, or until they really start to believe their eyes. And sometimes players can be kind of reluctant to believe their eyes, especially if it's like a player lurking in the dark. So long story short, this is just encouragement. If you like to play a sneaky, hide in the dark kind of play style, and players are running around you with torches or lanterns, see how close they'll come to you before they realize that you're actually there. You might be surprised that a lot of people don't notice you if you don't move, or they have to be much, much closer than would be suggested by the amount of light you see in the environment from their light source. So keep that in mind. It helps me. It helps me. It helped me very much. Okay, this was a great fight against a wizard. Great little skirmish here in the beginning, and then a great rush down at the end. There's 2 PSAs I've got. 2 bits of advice for other shield fighters when fighting wizards, because there are a lot of wizards these days. Number 1 is if you are in a skirmish, this opening skirmish with them, do your best to get an obstacle between you and them. Because if they have a clear line of sight, chances are you're going to take a lot of damage really quick. But if you can fight around obstacles, particularly obstacles that give you little cracks of vision through them, like some of these corner elevator bits in the middle module of Goblin Caves, then it can be a really great place to have a starting engagement with the wizard and encourage them to burn through some of their spells. Because doing this and starting to deplete some of the wizard's spell counts can really be good as you transition into the kind of middle and late stage of the fight. So I'm taking advantage of these protective obstacles, and now he kind of makes a mistake. He jumps, and he gets a little bit too close. My sprint is up, and I'm ready for this. And then here's the second part of the advice. PSA, shields can block spells. I know that's probably old news for a lot of people, but just in case there's any new fighters out there who don't know, shields are very good. Shields are very good at blocking spells. So I'll just take it back. Also notice, because I have counterattack, every time I get a successful block,
It helps me.
I get a speed boost.
It helped me.
So that wizard was actually pulling away from me in terms of his movement speed. See here how he's pulling away? He's out of range. But because he turns and casts, I get the movement speed. And that lets me catch him. If he didn't cast at me and give me the opportunity to block the projectile and get a movement speed from my perk, for my counterattack perk, I wouldn't have been able to catch up with him. I would have had to put my weapons away, or I would have slowly lost the foot race. But because he kept casting and I kept blocking, I was able to make up the lost ground, get into melee range, and actually take him out. So, again, PSA to shield fighters, to any new players out there who didn't know this, but you can block spells, you can block all projectile magic with a shield. You just got to make sure you actually block the projectile. And this, of course, applies to fireballs as well. If the wizard shoots a fireball at your body, at your person, and not at the floor, and you're able to block it with your shield, you will not take any of the massive impact damage. It'll stagger you. You'll take burn damage, something like the AoE damage, but you won't take the massive amount of like fireball impact damage, like from the projectile. So try blocking spells. You'll get a movement boost. You'll get up on those wizards faster than they expect, and hopefully get the win.
Yeah, it's blue. Why you got blue hands?
You got orange hands, my friend.
It's you again. No way, it's you again. Are you?
What's going on, man?
Dude, this is the fourth time.
It's a stalemate. We're just equally good. How about if I?
Wait, are you? You're the Blinn guy or something. Your name is right? Something like that.
Yeah, that's me. How's it going, man?
Yeah. I don't know how we keep running into each other, but.
It's because no one else is playing at 4:30 in the bloody morning. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Warlock. Halberd Warlock, maybe? Darn. Whoa! Oh, I just barely got him. Just barely got him. That's the flange mace talking right there. The flange mace is so fast off the counterattack, you can sometimes get 2 in. Someone else is right here. It's a barbarian. I'm in trouble. Mistake. Mistake. Big mistake. Thought this side was cleared. It's not. Maybe we can close this door. See if we can get him in here. If he comes this way, I can just fight him in here. No problem. We need to heal up. Is it a battle axe or felling axe? My boy's right here. Let's get him. Perfect block, here we go. Uh-oh, don't trade him. He's in trouble. GG, man, nice try. Wow. Didn't touch me. Didn't touch me. Oof. Oof. Yes. Immediately. Man, is someone else out here? He took the Warlock's kit, it looks like. He's here to the left.
I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. I'll drop you everything.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. No problem, man. No problem. Hi. I just heard you down here. Could you put your weapon away, please? Thanks. Hi. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry.
No, I just.
PvP. It always scares me.
It's all good, man. I fought for my life upstairs, so I'm kind of in fight mode. But how are you? How's it going?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, cool.
Any heals or any of that?
No.
I have a lot.
Thanks, man. I've got some stuff for you. I can give you some stuff here. I got some nice boots and some nice gloves.
It's all good. It's all good. Here's a pickaxe because I have 3 for some reason.
Okay, cool. Okay,
A couple.
I'm gonna leave you to your business. I wish you good looting and good adventuring. Okay.
You too. You too.
Okay,
Thank you for sparing.
Have a great night, man. Darn. Uh-oh. That was very close. Oof. Oof. Okay, this is the last bit of combat clip commentary I'll do before just letting the video play out. You might be wondering, why do I take the time to turn off lights when combat is upon me? And that is because I think that any time that there's dark behind me, anytime my silhouette is obscured, look how easy it is to see this guy, right? He's got light behind him. I can tell exactly where he is, and I can tell pretty easily like the distance between myself and him. Any effort you can take to make it dark behind you obscures your silhouette and makes it harder for your opponent to see you, to hit you with projectiles, or to know how to space you properly for combat. Bardiche. This is pre-nerf. So he was pretty clever there. He missed his first attack. I'm not sure if he did it intentionally. A lot of the really high-skilled, like, experienced barbarians will miss the first attack intentionally because that second thrusting attack is much easier for them to aim accurately, and he hits me in the legs very well there. Have another look. So he whiffs, hits me in the legs. Here comes again. Perfect block resets him. So, thank goodness for perfect block. A good strategy there is, it's risky, but you can see how I kind of moved into the left. So, I block here, he attacks, and I move into the left, and he misses that second stab. So that was a good move on the second attack. The third attack, though, was devastating. He hit me in the head, I think because I tried to duck. I couldn't decide if I was trying to duck or if I wanted to block low. And I think that's what it is. A lot of the time, the Bardiche users will go low with that third swiping attack in the combo. And I was kind of gambling on that. And unfortunately, he wasn't going low. He was going high mid. And it hit me right in the noggin. Check out the damage it dealt. Wonk. So now I'm in trouble. My perfect block is gone. There, it's back now. You can see here, I kind of intentionally move into the doorway because that is a great disadvantage to these two-handed weapons. Fighting in and around doorways, tighter spaces, narrower spaces. You could hear he clinked off of the door frame, so it is advantageous if you need a break, or even if you want just a small leg up in the combat. Try to pull these players into doorways or narrower spaces to make it harder for them to land hits. Perfect block is still up. Now it's gone, so I have to be careful because he's going to swing through. He hits the ground there, thankfully. And this is where something very interesting happens. He turns. Uh-oh. Now, his health was low, but wasn't that low, I don't think. So he hits the ground. 2, 3. 3 hits, he's dead. He still had a decent amount of health. But what happened is he lost the morale battle. Something about the fight, he wasn't liking it. He thought, forget this, I'm out of here. And tries to run. And in doing so, lost the fight. I mean, I've got like 10 health, right? If he swings one more time and connects with any attack, I'm dead, right? If he punches me, I'm dead. But I think it's because if we fast forward, or you saw maybe in the previous clip, he had 3 or 4 legendaries on him. He had really good gear. This could be a symptom of gear fear in action, where I've got no gear fear. I've got a purple mace, sure, but the rest of my kit is like greens and blues, maybe a few blues, mostly greens. I give no Fs in this situation. I'm just here to test my skills, practice my blocking. He gets to a certain point of health and is like, uh-oh, I don't want to lose my kit. I don't want to lose these pants. I don't want to lose these boots. I better run for it. And it's that decision. It's the loss of the morale battle. It's the gear fear that gets him to leave the fight and run and ultimately lose. So I thought that was really interesting. It was kind of an interesting turn of events that he had enough, but it was him. It was the mental battle that lost him the actual battle. So I needed this dub. This was a dub that came after a couple of losses and it was really nice to get a few legendaries off this guy. GG to the barb. It was a good fight. Fight in the doorways. And stick it out. You never know what your opponent is thinking or feeling, right? If you're feeling panicked, you think that they're just totally in control. But maybe they're also absolutely crapping their pants and about to run, you know? So if you have a bit more perseverance in the combat, if you stick with it a bit longer than they do, sometimes that morale battle can turn in your favor, and that's all you need to win the fight. You gotta look up, though. You gotta look up. That's it. That's how you do it. Much more reliable that way. And then you can even crouch and look up to get yourself a few extra frames. Because if I jump at you, yeah, you really need the crouch can really help. Yeah, you got it. You're a dangerous man.
Lynn, is that you?
Huh! Yes, it is. How's it going?
Ha.
Huh?
I knew I recognized your voice.
Okay, good luck in there. Have fun.
Yes, you too.
Might be hurt. So I'm gonna push.
I like this. My kid's being looted by a ranger as we speak.
Okay, let's wait. We can get the ranger. I'm not gonna shoot you. I won't shoot you. Let's clear the lobby and then we can have
I want to fight you.
Yep.
One-on-one. Right?
Yep. Totally, totally. Nice work. Nice, nice, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Take your time. Take your time. You said someone was taking your ranger loot? I hope not.
The kill is over here. Yeah, this guy.
So pick all this up so when you kill me, you can get out of here scot-free.
Wouldn't be so sure that's how it'll go down.
Well, let's see. How did you find my videos, if you don't mind my asking?
But they just sort of popped up.
Cool.
I think you have a nice chill vibe.
Aw, thanks, man. You want to fight in the middle? You want to fight in here?
Let's get it in the middle.
Okay. Okay. That was so close, my friend. That was so close. GG's, dude. It was a great fight. They made the Chris dagger easier to block. Oh! GG. Wow. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. If you are a fan of blocking, a fan of using a shield, even if you're just shield curious, we've got a weekly live stream called the Board Meeting. It's a really chill, low-key stream. We mess around with different fighter builds, shield builds. Basically just an excuse to hang out, pass the time during a workday on Monday afternoon. So if you're interested, stop by. Mondays starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.